well.
Now, this is going to be a story that I think is going to get bigger and bigger. HMS Diamond, one of our very few Royal Naval warships and American warships, have shot down a vast wave of missiles and drones fired by Yemen's Houthi rebels after the largest attack in the Red Sea so far.
That's right. So Mark White is here in the studio with us to explain this. Mark, this is one of these stories you think, well, it's a long way away, it's over in the Red Sea, it's all about letting the trade flow freely through that area, which is important because we're buying the shots. But why should we be concerned about this?
Well, we should be concerned because there's a potential for a much wider escalation in that region, which we would inevitably be dragged into. But as you say, also issues around getting that trade to the UK. This is a vital shipping lane from Asia to the West, up through the Red Sea and up through the Suez Canal there. And if they have to go around the Horn of Africa, then you're talking an extra 10 days or so to that.
So that's going to put costs up.
Prices go up, it affects everybody. Oil prices potentially going up, prices in the supermarkets going up as well. So purely from a domestic, selfish point of view, then clearly it is an issue. But actually, in terms of a wider regional conflict, it's a concern as well. I think we're just showing some of the images there from HMS Diamond, the Type 45 destroyer. We were given some images from the Ministry of Defence as well, some still images actually on board that ship as they were firing these missiles last night to try and defend the shipping in the area from this very significant attack. 18 attack drones that were launched towards shipping and also naval vessels. And that's the images there. You can see the crew on HMS Diamond on the bridge there in their anti-flash gear as one of the missiles. Another there, Sea Viper missiles is launched to try and intercept these drones.
Sorry to interrupt you, Mark, but just to be clear, my military expertise is not great. Are they trying to hit drones, individual drones? You've got to be a good shot.
They're a very sophisticated kit. They can easily take out drones and even missiles. Some of the anti-air missiles that we've got, the Americans have got, can actually take out ballistic, much faster moving missiles as well. So, yeah, I mean, there's a big debate about should we be using missiles costing hundreds of thousands of pounds to take out a drone costing, hundreds or thousands of pounds. Yeah. And the answer actually is yes, because it's not the drone, it's the damage that the drone can do if it connects with either civilian shipping, commercial shipping, or indeed a naval vessel.
People will be curious, Mark, why these missiles and drones are coming from Yemen, one of the poorest countries on the planet, which is locked in a terrible civil war. But these missiles are funded by Iran because of Israel's conflict with Hamas in Gaza.
Yeah, much of this links back to Iran and its proxies. We know that the Houthi rebels in Yemen are backed by Iran. They say that they are targeting commercial shipping that is linked to Israel. Well, that's debatable. I think some of the supposed links to Israel are tenuous at best. And we know clearly, as last night, according to the Defence Secretary, some of these drones were heading in the direction of the Type 45 destroyer HMS Diamond that was forced to take out 7 of these 18 drones.
Now, we're working alongside America and other allies. Is there a possibility this could escalate to the point where Iran, because effectively we're shooting down Iran hardware, become involved directly?
Well, that's what everybody is trying to avoid. And we've got the US Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, in the region at the moment. So you've got the diplomatic steps that are underway by all of the regions, all of the countries in that region that know, of course, about the potential damage of an escalation in this conflict. Americans trying to look for a way forward that can perhaps lead to some kind of de-escalation from Israel in Gaza. And it's hoped if that de-escalation can happen, then the tensions will be eased, then perhaps the Houthi rebels and others, Hezbollah, for instance, in southern Lebanon, will stop their attacks on Israel and Israel-linked shipping in that region. But it's very, very dangerous at the moment. As I say, this is the single biggest attack now that has been launched at shipping in the Red Sea.
Well, how would you say the mood across the nation, across the world, actually, Mark, from political leaders around the world in terms of Israel at the moment and their sustained bombing of Palestine? Because it's very much slipped off the news radar, but it is miserable over that.
And David Cameron was almost evasive when he gave evidence for MPs yesterday. Lord Cameron, we must call him, our Foreign Secretary, about have they broken the law, Israel?
I think, you should
have said, get stuff, they're defending themselves.
Key allies who, in full-throated support for Israel in the days after the 7th of October attacks by Hamas are now very publicly saying, look, we need to find a way of de-escalating this, getting the aid in to help those people in Gaza. But also, of course, at the same time, and David Cameron was saying this in his evidence, you've got to have a solution to what Israel is facing. And it's not yet in the place where Hamas has been degraded to the point that it doesn't pose a threat to Israel anymore. We are still getting daily rocket attacks launched from Gaza into Israel proper. So clearly there's a job of work to do, even though Israel is saying in the north of Gaza they've pretty much degraded Hamas's capabilities and now they're focused on the south of Gaza.
The rocket attacks continue from Hamas because they don't want a ceasefire. They're on record as saying they don't want a ceasefire. Their avowed aim is to push Israel into the sea. They want to see, the destruction of Israel. In realpolitik, at the end of the day, of course, they will want a cessation of the hostilities. It's having a very heavy toll, taking a very heavy toll on Hamas itself. But there's still capability there, clearly.
Sure. Amazing statistic that was released yesterday by the United Nations saying that since October the 7th, 10 children on average a day in Gaza have lost one or both legs.
Yeah, which is shocking, but we have to remember how many children are still being kept hostage by Hamas after the terrible attack in October.
We've said it before, but it bears repeating. Hamas has a policy of, ensuring that its infrastructure, its rocket launchers and alike, are in civilian areas. It knows the net result of that will be, of course, strikes from Israel that will take a toll on the civilian population. That then feeds into what Hamas wants, which is worldwide condemnation of Israel.
It's breathtakingly cynical. They use their own people as human shields.
And those poor people, genuinely, especially those poor children. Right, thank you, Mark.